like to call the meeting of the Board of Public Works of March 19th to order. And before we get started, ask if anyone besides LCAT is recording. And seeing none, I think we can move on to the first item, which is to review and approve the minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the February 26, 2013 meeting.
Second motion.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next item is request for mailbox replacement reimbursement that we tabled from the last meeting. Obviously, it came to us at the last meeting, so I think we had a little bit of time to check out things individually and with department people. So, Tom, if you want to give us a quick report out, I think you have some information for us.
Some local towns, or surrounding towns, I should say, their policies, which I agree on, is if it comes in direct contact with the plow, then they replace them. If it was pushed over by the weight of the snow, then it's the responsibility lies on the property owner. The postmaster says that the box is to be installed and maintained by the property owner. So with that saying, a lot of times the posts are rotted and they're getting pushed over by the weight of the snow without any direct contact, which shouldn't be the liability of the DPW, my opinion. And the opinion of many of the surrounding DPWs.
Okay.
And if it's replaced by DPW, it will be a rural mailbox.
A rural mailbox with like a pressure treated 4x4, probably with a value not to exceed $50.
Any other?
No, I
any other thoughts?
agree. It's,
David, any other?
No, but I suppose before you decide on what you're going to do on that part, as you recall from our last meeting, I have a request here for rather half the amount of reimbursement of $750 for that party on Rockingham Circle. It was that brick structure. I guess I need some direction and guidance on how the board.
Yeah, so let's take the first one first.
Okay.
And then we'll grab that one second. So as far as the department replacing mailboxes, the general concept of replacing them, I think I heard a pretty reasonable situation is if the yellow truck or plow hits the mailbox and knocks it over, more force than just normal snow, then we're gonna take care of it.
Direct contact.
Direct contact. We're gonna take care of it with pressure treated post and a rural mailbox.
Right.
But it is the homeowner's responsibility to put a mailbox out there that will withstand snow
And-
being pushed.
And
off the
maintain
street
it,
and
so
maintain it.
periodically, those posts are gonna rot, and they're gonna need
Exactly.
to be changed.
Exactly. All right. So is that a motion to that effect?
I make a motion?
second it?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
So now you know what we're gonna do with mailboxes. And in particular, now we wanna discuss the one that brought this to our attention last week, or 2 weeks ago, actually. I don't see how we could possibly be responsible to replace a $750 brick mailbox structure. And based on some of the photos, and I went out there, and I think maybe other people went out or took a
We have a
peek.
report from Mark Langone.
All right, you can read that if you want, or,
All right, this is addressed to Dave Grabowski from Mark Langone. He's one of our foremen. Just as an observation, at 14 Rockingham Circle, the mailbox is broken in a way that is not consistent with the way we plow snow. Our driver would have been plowing in the opposite side of the street from the left side of his plow. I suppose it is possible, and I will check with Kyle Grabowski, who plowed that street, to see if there's a method to this. Also, having plowed many driveways in my time, the mailbox looks to be broken in a way that would be consistent with a private plow pushing up the end of the driveway, as to see the piles at the end of this driveway behind the mailbox. Again, this is only my absolute opinion. If it's any help, could be a bit helpful. Thank you.
and I
Mark
think that's
Langone.
what, some of the
And
photos
the
were reflecting
photos.
is exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, looking at those photos, I'd have to agree with Mark.
And I'm not a mason, but I suspect that mailbox is pretty heavy. The only thing I see is a small little piece of pipe.
It didn't look to me like it had an adequate footing, and it looked like it fell in the
Well, also-
opposite direction.
Also, you look where the base is. here,
Right.
and you look where the street is over here, there's no way that the plow could have struck that to knock it over. It's coming up the other direction.
A street like this.
Right.
Right.
The driveway,
This is
so
right.
it
And
had to be coming
you're
this
saying
way,
you'd have to
right?
be coming this way and hit it as opposed to coming around that way. It's falling in the opposite direction.
Right.
And that's what Mark's observation was. And here it is again.
So we wanna take a vote,
Yeah, take a vote.
motion?
Motion to deny the request-
Reimbursement.
reimbursement for the mailbox located at,
14.
Or is that Dave address?
Rockingham.
14 Rockingham.
14 Rockingham
14 Rockingham Circle.
Circle.
Second, Tommy?
Second.
Any further discussion? In favor of denial? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Oh, I got two other minor ones,
Yep.
because they're invoices that,
Okay.
copies of bills that came in and people are looking for reimbursement. This one here was this is the one on Laurie Lane that came in roughly the same time as the other one did. And they sent us a bill looking for reimbursement for $27.26.
Could have been our plow, could have been snow, was rotted. do
But
we
once
know?
again, we did,
Well, if we didn't see it, everybody that's got a rotted mailbox, I mean,
that's just that's the one that was put there that was replaced. Actually, the.
So we don't know, we have no
actually-
idea.
No.
It was replaced before we could even look at it.
Here's
Right.
pictures of it replaced.
Actually, it looks to be the same pole, only a different mailbox.
and it looks like the same Sunday Republican too.
Yeah,
So,
it was just a new mailbox, it wasn't the pole included on that
no,
one.
I understand, but if the mailbox got whacked, how did the Sunday Republican last?
Like,
I mean, it,
But we had no opportunity to even see it.
no
They
opportunity
just
to
changed
see it.
They did.
I think that she offered to bring it in though, Dave, didn't she, Mom?
You know what I'm saying, Dan?
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh, that was the other one you gave me today, I think.
Yes, she offered to bring that one.
And there was another one today from 25 Tracy Lane. They brought in a bill for $19.11 for a steel mailbox. It looks like mailbox only without a pole. And this party, this
So I guess
resident,
the opportunity would be if they showed a mailbox, yellow paint on it,
it's something like that, yeah.
give us
But
an
I mean,
opportunity to see what happened and then check with a driver and,
We can almost always tell
yeah,
right away.
Whether it's snow or
truck
it got
came in
hit.
Contact with it or not.
right. So we'll leave those to you to take another quick peek at, but I would say somehow we have to let people know they need to let us go survey what they say was damaged by us, give us an opportunity to check with the drivers of the trucks.
I mean, the thing about a
Make our
plastic,
evaluation, we can't just have people replace mailboxes and say, the plow knocked it over, so I put in a new mailbox without us even knowing.
They have contacted us where they've gone out and bought a mailbox. We've gone out to see the damage and installed their mailbox. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, every combination that you can.
All right, so we want to be accommodating
Right.
if we
Right.
accidentally hit it. I mean, when we had that Halloween snowstorm, it was pretty blinding, we could have been hitting them. You know, on a regular snowstorm, the odds are slim that we're gonna actually hit it. The real situation might be that slush or snow might take a rotted one and put it on the ground. All right.
even a plastic one where the plastic has been beat up by the sun.
Yeah.
And now it's extremely brittle, and you get some wet snow against it, that would fall under like maintaining your mailbox.
Okay,
okay,
we're good?
Yeah.
I agree. All right, memo from Board of Selectmen would be the next one, Heritage Park, request for a public planting. We tabled it because we really didn't have the details on what that public planting was, 1 tree, 10 trees, a whole field of trees.
okay.
I think we have a little bit more information.
Yeah, we sent a letter to Mr. Graziano, and he responded with a letter, which you have a copy of. Um,
Yeah,
One
Yep.
tree. I
yeah,
like
one
it.
tree, one tree. Where, are we marking the spot, or is it something that they're going to?
It will be a joint venture.
Okay, so we will have to say
Yep.
where it goes. Okay.
I love it. You want to vote?
No.
Official vote?
No problem.
I think we're good.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
good.
notify the Board of Selectmen.
All right, thank you. All right, and we have our request from the J.C.'s for the annual summer carnival
Right.
from Maureen Basile.
You have June, the
Dates that they're looking for, carnival will actually be June 28th through July 3rd, but they want the field from Saturday, June 22nd through Saturday, July 6th.
Mhm.
So from our perspective, they did a good job last year.
Oh, yeah.
Cleaning it up. I
Yeah.
mean, the field is stronger and hardier than it's
Mm.
probably ever been,
Mm.
so we got lucky with some weather. So really, it's up to Colin and Recreation and anybody else who has other thoughts for that field during that period. Any comments on suggestions we should have them do differently or
No,
more?
I'd just like to make a comment that the field is in that condition because Mr. Gramowski put a pump in the ponds that keeps the water level prior to the event, whether it rains or not.
Down low.
He keeps it at a point where the field can drain.
Good.
We replaced the drain on the field, so we have a little more control over the outcome, regardless of the weather.
Oh, so you're lowering the water table under the field?
Yeah.
In past years, it was like a bowl, and the wear and tear of the field was brutal.
And they'll, we snow fence the ball field, the diamonds, so they don't drive on there and damage them.
Yes.
And what about any sprinkler heads, or those are just in the infields, or are there?
Yes, they are,
So-
and we fence those up as well.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
vote,
Sounds good.
Make a
Yeah,
motion.
sure.
motion.
Motion to allow the J.C.'s to use the center field for their summer carnival from June 22nd to July 6th,
Second,
2013.
second the motion.
And the only further discussion, we gotta send a letter back to somebody
I will take care of it.
and copy Selectmen and Recreation or
Yeah,
whatever.
just back to the Selectmen.
Selectmen,
Okay.
yeah.
Excellent, all in favor?
Aye?
Aye. Good there. FY 2014 capital budget. Vehicle funding.
Well, as you may have heard, we met with the Capital Planning Committee a couple of weeks ago, and their latest request was for us to, if we could fund Truck 49 from the Water Fund and Truck 15 from the Sewer Fund. And various discussions went back and forth. So it's up before the board tonight to decide, or take a look at some of the scenarios here as to what we're up against.
And they did recommend 5 and 107 out of capital,
They're not
Truck
recommending anything yet.
No.
or allowing that to go normal.
Well, I was told today, I don't believe you could call it officially, that they will be recommending dump truck number 5. Now, I'm not sure if that's at that price or if it's, because this 179 price included the sander type body.
Mhm.
And I think there was talk about not getting that particular type body and just getting a regular body, or maybe even a stainless steel body and using some of our existing sanders. So I don't know where that all sits, but I did hear that they might be recommending truck number 5. I have no idea regarding van number 107, or truck 77 for that matter. Don't know.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the,
Well, I'd just like to comment, just to make it public, that this is the first time that the DPW has ever been, you weren't at the meeting, so this was the first time that the DPW has been asked to pay for a vehicle out of taxation, or outside of taxation. They've always been paid for through taxation, just like every other vehicle. The only thing that we had purchased out of the sewer or water fund was, in the sewer case of the sewer jet machine, but not the truck, just the unit that was mounted on the back of the truck. But the town, through taxation and bonding, paid for the truck. This is a deviation from that policy, which means that in order for us to take it out of the water and sewer rate, it's going to require us to increase our water and sewer rates. There again, it's going to be basically a double taxation, because the people are going to see their taxes go up on their property taxes, and they're also going to see their water and sewer go up. Now, I can see their reasoning for doing it, because those two pieces of equipment are used for a lot of those two departments, but it's just a change in policy, and it just seems like it's going to be, people are going to pay for it they're going to see a double increase. They're going to see the increase in their taxes and in their water and sewer rates, so just wanted to bring that to your attention.
No, that's a good point. That's why I wanted to take a look at the water rate and the adjustment that's going to be required. In the next couple pages here, you'll see our water fund in fiscal 2016, which is just 2 years out, is going to be a negative 134,000.
Right. And that's not.
If we raise the rate a nickel, we can get it back to break even, which isn't a good place to be. If we raise it 10 cents, we can get it back up to 129,000, which really still isn't a great place to be, because, you know, if something happens and we need money, you know, for something that's, and water pumping stations and pumps and broken mains and things like that aren't always inexpensive. So a 15-cent increase on the water rate would get us to the 263, which is probably
Probably where we need to
Needs to
be.
be.
exactly.
Because if you look at the prior years, in FY13, we had a balance of 918,559. In 14, it's dropping down to 589,146. 15, 308, 846. And then in 16, we're in the negative. So,
Well, through the chair, going from 13 to 14,
One page
I'm
up.
sorry.
One page up.
any
Yeah.
page, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But I'm talking going fiscal 13 to 14. The reason that is taking a hit, regardless of even the trucks, well, no, the trucks are certainly adding to it. If you look at the operating budget expense, don't forget, this year we had to increase water by $91,000 due to the additional costs to Springfield Water and Sewer Commission. So that's another $91,000 extra. Also, because of the construction of the revamping of the Harkness pumping station in there, that's jacked up the long-term debt and interest. So that's some of the big difference between
Right.
13 and 14.
Right, but we need to run somewhere over $200,000 probably in a surplus in case we have any other projects that have to be done.
So that's on the water side. If we follow the same pattern and take a look at the sewer rate, we're gonna be a negative 136,000 in fiscal 16. If we raise it a nickel, we're still under by 41,000. If we raise it 10 cents, we're at 53. If we raise it 15 cents, we're at 148. That's as far as we went, but now that's a 15 and 15.
30 cents a
30
gallon.
cents increase in our water and sewer rates.
100 cubic.
Per 100 cubic feet, rather.
Yeah,
Huh.
and I think Danny's point is well made. You know, we haven't taken trucks out of water and sewer in the past. You know, the fact that we understand they're trying to balance the budget, they're trying to watch costs, but, you know, the October storm alone, you know, that we had, you know, took a pretty good shellac into our trucks in terms of the use that they got, and we were able to get reimbursed, you know, quite helpfully from you know, state and
FEMA.
federal, and, you know, we need the trucks. So for us to,
Yeah.
we need the trucks. So one way or the other, the DPW is gonna go for the trucks.
Right.
But we need everybody to be aware that capital's changing it from,
And in the last
Capital
two
spending.
years, I mean, like every other, we put together a 5-year capital plan, and we schedule so many trucks to be replaced every year. And out of the last, 2 out of the last 3 years, we received no vehicles whatsoever. Now, that's never happened to DPW, and the amount of work that we're doing, the water projects that we did on Sanford Street saved the town roughly, I believe, $60,000. The storm that other communities paid, you know, up to Long Meadow was what, $12 million? And we did it for, well, we ended up making money on it when we got reimbursed for the use of our equipment from FEMA. So, I mean, these trucks are working hard, and the department's working hard to make this thing feasible and to save town money, but, you know, we need our equipment, and the trucks are a major part of the equipment, and as our fleet gets older, we're gonna need more. We had a few years back, they asked if we could put $25,000 into each dump truck and get another 5 years out of the trucks. Well, those trucks are now almost done with those 5 years, and we're gonna be looking for a series of those, I believe, 4 of those?
There's 4, what we put 25,000.
3. So we're gonna be looking at 3 dump trucks that are gonna be, need to be replaced all at one time. And rather than giving us one each year, and like we said, in meeting with them, they couldn't guarantee us that we couldn't tell that we would still get anything for vehicles. The only way we get them is if, be assured of getting them, is to take those 2 out of water and 1 out of sewer. So, I think we're getting a raw deal, but.
so I think we need to send a letter back, unless you guys have a different thought that, or I don't know if somebody wants to make an official motion, but I would like to send a letter back that says we're in disagreement with taking the trucks out of water and sewer fund monies, and want them to reconsider all the trucks that we've asked for out of from capital plan, out of taxation. And I know you went to a
Well,
meeting and they
that's-
pretty much said no, but
Yeah.
if that means it goes to the town floor and we have to stand up and rally for our own trucks, I guess that's what we have to do, because, you know, we can't save the town money without vehicles to do the work. Didn't we do another one off Allen Street, another project?
Water
what-
main?
yeah.
Yeah, on Holland Drive.
Holland Drive. So, I mean, and that saved money from going out to contractors, so, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and we've gone from a maintenance to a construction in a lot of these cases,
Well, that's,
and,
you know, that's the other thing. Besides the 3 that we, refurbished a little bit by dumping 25 grand into it, there's 3 more for a total of 6 that are under spec. I mean, the GVW is too light, and those trucks are gonna probably wear out earlier because we're using them more. So, I mean, we're really looking for 6 new trucks probably in the next 5 or 6 years, and not giving us any in the past 2 years is starting to, you're gonna spend more money to keep these trucks working than what they're worth. So,
and that's what we did with
Hey,
the 25,000 per dump truck. just to-
Right,
No,
but I mean-
I agree. One thing that really bothers me is there was the van 107, that's that old, whatever color van it is, you know, that old Ford. I mean, that's parked under the grapevines over there. That doesn't run. I mean, that's a loss of a vehicle. That's huge in the summertime when we try and hire summer help to, you know, go get work done. I mean, I'm not gonna have 2 and 3 summer kids riding around in one truck. To not have a vehicle is, I might as well not hire the people to go along with it,
And we don't
because
have
it
the
doesn't make any
vehicles for it.
sense. You can't put 2 summer kids in a vehicle and expect them to do any work, because they're just gonna ride around. So without these trucks, forget the people. So, that's a big thing.
Yeah, we won't get the work done. Yes, sir.
We've sunk considerable money into truck 15, which is on the table. Truck 77, we've put $2,000 or $3,000 in 77 over the last month, front end. ball joints, everything, it's an old vehicle, and it's really worn out, and the vehicles we're talking about, the two vehicles that you folks are talking about, 49 and 15, and I don't know that the capital committee or the other committees that we've approached on these have really said much about 77 or 22. Those two vehicles, the reason that there's so many vehicles is exactly what Mr. Wilson had said. When we skip a year, we have vehicles that are due, that are overdue, that we are sinking thousands of dollars into, that are not gonna get better. If they're undersized, we're blowing leaf springs and transmissions, if they're old, we replace it because we need the vehicle for construction, for a million other things. And then they refuse to replace the vehicle, so that vehicle's gotta go another year. So it's really a black hole.
I
Because we
agree.
need these vehicles on the road.
I agree.
I mean, one thing that you showed me, I mean, it showed one truck needing $25,000 worth of work. If you're gonna spend $25,000 on a 13-year-old, 14-year-old truck, I mean, you're throwing good money after bad.
And the Aerostar, correct me if I'm wrong, John, it's
1990.
1990, it's 23 years old.
That's correct.
Originally, it was bought for the surveying crew,
That's correct.
and then it went on to be, when we did the I&I, wasn't that used to
It was.
bring that equipment around there?
Yes, it was.
And then we use it for the summer help. We have it-
And we do, and we'll transport meters. When we were changing out the new meter program, that was used extensively.
Right.
And like Mr. Gromadski had mentioned, we use it every summer with our summer weed whacking and those types of things. It's a smaller piece of equipment, but it's parked and we can't use it.
Right.
And in all good conscience, I don't even think, no matter how much money we could spend on it, I don't think we could get a sticker on this vehicle. Some of these vehicles are getting to that place, where even if we dump money into them, we're not gonna be able to get a sticker, they're not gonna be road safe. And again, skipping a few years without any vehicle is just gonna pile these up like it has.
I mean, personally, I'd be in a little different place, but not much. If we had a growing or surplus water and sewer fund, you know, I'd possibly be in a different place. But the principle of it is, you know, we're not gonna raise taxes, but like you said, we're gonna raise water and sewer, so.
And although they say there's gonna be water and sewer trucks, they have the plows on there, and they're gonna be out plowing a route just like every other vehicle, and it's not always water and sewer, it's being used for other purposes. Whenever we have calls, they send a crew out, they take that vehicle.
Absolutely.
But again, it's just changing the way that they want us to purchase them out of the water and sewer fund, which means raising that, and then the taxes are gonna go up, and then they're just, the people are just gonna be double taxed, so it'll go up twice, so I just don't agree. If they wanna take that money and take it off the tax rate and, you know, pay for it that way, then taxpayers get hit just through one increase through the water and sewer rate, but, I agree with John that, you know, I think, I see where they're coming from, but I sort of disagree that this is not the way to replace vehicles when we need them. It's funny that, I hate to bring this up, but the police cruisers, every year they put in for 3 or 4 police cruisers, and every year it's just an automatic given. It should be for us too, because we use our vehicles just as much, if not more, than they do, and put a lot more miles, or at least heavy miles on them. And it's just gotta be, every year, they should just automatically set aside a block of money and says, this is for truck repairs. Just like we do the maintenance on the buildings now. We figure out a budget, and every year that's just a given. I mean, I realize some years and tougher years, you can't get as many as you had in past years, but still you should be getting a fair share. And we put together a 5-year capital plan that we submit to them every year. And, you know, over the next 5 years, we're looking to replace 15 vehicles. On a fleet of how many, John? Sorry to put you
That's
into,
all right, you know what, I'll say
40,
30.
48 vehicles, that's not counting any trailers or anything like that, 14 motorized
Heavy
pieces.
equipment.
Yeah,
so,
It's got backhoes and
Yeah.
and
yeah,
bobcats and
yeah,
motors.
yeah.
So, to put it in perspective too, just to kind of, so in 2004, so what's that, 9 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Our water rate was $2. It's currently $2.20,
And we have one of the lower water rates in the area.
all right? In 2004, our sewer rate was $2.45. It's currently $2.40. So we went down a nickel and up 20 cents. So we've only gone up 15 cents in total, water and sewer, in 9 years. And we're looking like we have to go up 30 cents this year to get in place if we take trucks out of water and sewer. Now, that's not to say we're not gonna have to go up at all. It's not all trucks, because we've got an increased rate from the city for sewer, and we've got other debt and interest. But I don't, we're not in a place where I can say, oh, that feels good, haven't gone up 15 cents in 9 years, let's go up 30 cents this year. It just,
Just to quantify it for the average homeowner, if you went up 15 cents on both water and sewer, that would be about a $36 annual increase for the customer, for the average.
Average
Average
household
water
is
use.
gonna raise $40 a year
Yeah,
for a 15 and a 15,
Yes.
30 cents a gallon.
yes, sir,
Or 30 cents a 100 cubic feet.
yes, sir.
But that's only gonna cover 2 trucks that we wanna fund out of there.
Right.
But it's not gonna cover the large dump truck that definitely needs to be
Oh,
replaced.
no.
oh no,
Oh, that's not in
there's
there.
3 other
So,
trucks.
so it's still not solving our problem.
So I think we can talk about it for a while. The bottom line would be, I think, a letter to capital
Okay.
from us that we're not in agreement with in this fiscal year, talking about hitting our water and sewer funds, you know, in lieu of putting it through a normal path of capital projects and normal taxation. And we'll maybe have to have another discussion, or depending on where it goes on the town meeting floor, we'll have to, you know, go from there, but it just it doesn't play out for me. Agree or
I
disagree?
agree, I agree.
Tommy?
Yeah, I mean, what happens if we, they don't give it to us? We gotta come back here and tell these people that their water's gonna go up 60 cents per 100 cubic feet?
I'm not in
And
favor.
that's only gonna get us it's not gonna,
It's not gonna get us the big
it's
dump
not
truck.
gonna get us
that
the
we
big
need.
dump truck, and
Yeah,
those are in serious disrepair.
it's gonna get us a F-350.
I don't understand
F-550.
I don't
I don't understand the logic actually myself, so I'm sorry I couldn't get to the meeting 2 weeks ago, but, so, are they gonna stand up at the town meeting floor and say, we're not gonna take it out of taxation, but your water bill is gonna go up? I mean, it's gonna be on the warrant. So, what's the difference? I don't understand the difference.
Assessment's still gonna go up 2.5%, and
It's gonna go up to cover the cost, so. Did you get a feel for what the real
No,
deal
The
is?
feel that I was getting at the meeting was, you know, they're saying that that's the cost of running the water department, that's the cost of running the sewer department, and the maintenance and the replacement of those vehicles should come out of those departments. He did say that he's heard of other communities where a third of it comes out of general funding, a third of it comes out of the water department, and a third of it comes out of the sewer department, and fund the vehicle that way. I mean, more as a direct reflection of what the actual physical cost of running the water department or the sewer department is. So if we're plowing the road with that truck, then a third of that value would come out of the general fund. And if a third of the time we're using it in the sewer department, a third of the value would come out of the sewer department, and a third of the time it was fixing a water break would come out of the water budget. I mean, did you pick up on that, Danny? I mean,
Again, I just think that the townspayers are gonna get double
When's the town
taxed
meeting?
because it's still
May?
gonna go up.
9 or something like
We're
that.
still gonna go up
Beginning of May, right?
2.5%, and then we're gonna have an increase on the water
Right.
rates.
So you have a chance to have more dialogue with these guys? I know you're looking forward to it.
There is no more dialogue. I think we've met with them twice.
We've met with them twice, and I don't think,
May 20th.
I don't think we're getting anywhere, and I'm afraid that they're not gonna give us what we need. These are not things that we want, these are things that we need.
All right, and the chairman is the chief?
Yeah,
Right.
All right, I will personally call him to find out how it stacks up, how it plays out. We need the trucks.
Right,
So,
it's not something we
We're
want.
gonna find
we
out what
need
the
it.
options are, what's the legalese and legalize of, we put in our request, what do they do? How does it work if we stay where we want it to come out? What's the vehicles, how's it working, how does it go to town meeting? I don't have a perfect handle.
What I don't understand about budgeting, like, and you guys have been doing it a lot longer than me, is it's like building maintenance. You know what you need to repair those buildings. And you got an allocated, if they say, here's $200,000 to spend on your fleet of 48 vehicles here, which 1/3 of them need to be replaced in the next 5 years, here's $200,000, we're gonna allocate it. You control which ones need to be going, but we're only gonna give you 200 grand. But, I mean, to go begging for money every year and not getting anything 2 years in a row, with possibility of not getting 3 years in a row, I mean, we're just gonna kick this can down the road till we're in a big problem.
I agree.
so shall I hold off on sending any letter until you talk to chief?
I don't think so. You wanna hold off?
I think you should
All
talk
right,
to them
I'll call,
first and then.
I'll call him tomorrow and then
Or let me know.
I'll let you know what we wanna do. So you'll give me the ability to write a letter or whatever between now and the next meeting, if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right,
Yeah.
that's what we'll do. Find out what the vehicles are to get it done and
Okay, so we're gonna, there's a hold.
all right. Other business, David?
Other business. I think you already know there's a vacancy in our clerical department, in the Department of Public Works. I believe Shirley has a couple thousand applications,
I actually have 80
okay.
80.
applications
And
so far.
what's the board's pleasure as far as going through these, interviewing, choosing?
I think 80 is a pretty good selection field. I don't think we need to make it any bigger or broader than that.
I think you can bring us the last 3 at your pleasure if you want, if the timing works out. And I mean, I'm comfortable. You've been doing this, the two of you have been doing it long enough, and we've had, unfortunately, too many of them, that you must know the process pretty good. You know who we need and what we need, so. All I may need to see is the last few, so I'm educated.
Yeah, the
Similar.
last 3 or 5, something like that, but no more than
So
that.
you'd like to see them before I interview them?
No, I think.
Before you
actually,
interview any of them? No, I would say you
No,
could do a
after-
first interview,
Yeah.
and then maybe if you have a little, way that you critique and get down to your last 3, you can maybe give us a heads up, just so we're aware. In case there's any local public knowledge that we have, and other than that, you'll just explain why you think who and finish it off. Agree?
Nope.
I agree.
Okay.
There is one other thing that I have. I did hear that the Capital Planning Committee was perhaps going to recommend the $75,000 for the sidewalk funding. However, we still have about 70 or 71,000 left from the last fiscal year's appropriation, I think was back in 2011 now. We were talking, and we don't see any reason why this summer we couldn't do some of the work ourselves. Obviously, with $70,000, we can make that go a lot far longer than a contractor's gonna make it go. If that's all right with the board.
Definitely.
It makes sense.
So what I will do is for the next, I'll try for the next meeting, I will get an updated sidewalk map prepared, showing what's existing and what's been proposed, and then the board can decide on which leg or legs you'd like to
Is-
tackle.
Is this for installing new or repairing?
No,
re-
both.
So we could-
Whatever your
could-
pleasure is.
We could, whatever my pleasure is,
Sure,
repairing broken ones?
sure.
Because I was speaking with John on an issue on some around Heritage Park that I think
Sure.
are in need of repair.
Sure, whatever you like.
Typically, every year, we probably do 10 or 12 small sections of sidewalk here and there.
Yeah.
Summers Road, Maple Street.
Did you get a chance to go look at that?
I did.
It's a little bit more than 10 or 12 sections there.
Yeah, it's,
in
but still,
disrepair.
but still, we could repair.
Oh, you
that
could fix
without
that very
doing
easily,
bullshit,
especially with that kind of money,
you
yeah.
know, so,
And
yeah,
especially right around the park where it's getting a lot of use.
yeah, certainly.
Just to bring you up to speed, not that we, the board can't use it for whatever sidewalks they want, but just to bring Tom up to speed, because he wasn't on the board, that, this annual, which did, started off, the idea was it was gonna be an annual appropriation of $75,000. Well, that didn't last too long. It's been rather spotty, but the idea of it was we were going to use this money to try and get sidewalks done around primarily the school districts.
I remember that, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's where the whole
It's just
thing
this other
started from.
issue came
Right,
to light
right,
and
right. I mean, if it's a safety matter, of course, it should be addressed.
I thought it was.
Yeah, but
I mean, I think you can agree, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
I don't know if Bruce had anything on his,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I do. A couple of projects we were working on before our last board meeting, the new reception counter for the assessor's office is now complete. Also, LCAT Studio project, the new transformer was installed yesterday, so the power has been distributed throughout that new portion of the high school. Everything's on. We're just waiting for the HVAC contractor to come in and start up all their equipment and do all their testing and stuff, so that job is almost complete. I am working with Don Mackey, trying to get some workstations for the kids that he teaches over there through Lowe's and cabinets. They're currently on the state bid list now. So I reached out to them, got some quotes.
What are you looking for?
Cabinets?
Cabinets,
Cabinetry.
cabinets and countertops, instead of us fabricating everything to get cabinets, put them together, make workstations, sort of classroom layout.
Are you talking about like office partition?
No, these are just gonna be workstations, like say a
It's a linear
14-foot
relationship,
countertop
so-
with a few cabinets here and there, obviously with chairs that obviously go under those
Okay.
countertops to set up workstations with computers and the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
So I got a price, the cabinets came out to about $8,000, a little over 8,000. But my problem is now is, because of obviously procurement laws, anything over $5,000, I need to give that company contracts for signing off on them. Obviously, it's been about 3 weeks, I've been trying to work with Lowe's and their legal team, and they're all over the country, so I've been going back and forth with them, having them sign a contract. Attorney Donahue's involved now. They just don't want to sign on the dotted line, unfortunately. But I am working towards it and see if we can come up with some kind of an agreement with them. So that's moving forward. Next capital project we have is the final pool project. That bid opening is on Monday, the 25th at 11 a.m. So I'll give you guys the results of that. Also, the municipal space study, Reinhardt Associates will be completing that study. I met with them last week and did some final stuff today as far as measurements for the town hall. I should have a preliminary report on Friday this week with a final report next week.
Awesome. John? Sean?
The only thing I'll be bringing to the board, hopefully by the next meeting, is I've been working on the, I'll call it solar credits towards our energy consumption. I've had quite a few conversations with both the Attorney General's office and the Department of Energy, just confirming all the methods that you need to use to go about there. I also have a meeting set up for next Tuesday, I believe, to meet a second meeting with Secure Energy on Summers Road here to see if they could assist us as well. So keep moving on that.
Okay. Elm Street?
Elm Street is still being plugged on.
Let's get together with Senator Kinderas.
Yeah, see if you can set up a meeting, go over there.
We'll go to
her
we'll go to roadshow. When I talked to her, she said, come see her. So if we have to post a meeting and go there and bring her bring our presentation to her and bring her up to date what's going on, we need to try and move this thing along.
John?
Well, you know that we had some work done and have had some work done in the sewer mains regarding I&I, repairs, sealing pipes, those types of things. Ty and Bond has given us a list of the next group and the next area. And our water and sewer department has been, throughout the course of the whole winter, flushing and filming sewer mains and identifying troubled areas. I believe that they've just finished up, and as well as cutting sewer easements, and some of them, I don't know if they've ever actually been cleared up. So we've made a lot of good progress in doing that, as well as our highway supervisor. He's been out, they've been out, we have a crew out cutting sewer easements over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and he's made a lot of good progress as well. As the baseball is supposed to start, I think, in about 2 weeks. I think practices are, ideally, they would think would start maybe next week. And we're gonna have a very difficult time getting on those fields, regardless of whether the snow melts right away or not. The water table's pretty high. The fields are very wet, and they're gonna be for a while. We did Leahy Field over last year, complete. The varsity baseball field over 100% with sod. It has irrigation in the infield. Junior varsity, we ran out of time. We went out, dug it all out, cut it back, removed sod, added clay so they could play on that field if need be right now. The one area that we came up a little bit short, and again, due to the weather, winter coming on, was adding sod. So we're gonna have to put a little bit of sod in there to complete that field somewhere over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Just at the high school?
That's correct. But I think that the field should be in pretty good shape
Good.
to go.
So the diamond's in good shape, you just need to dress up the edges with some
Yeah,
sod?
exactly, Tom, exactly. And as well as the other ball fields, the Blackman Memorial down at Heritage Park, they're not gonna be groomed the way that we would if we had 2 or 3 weeks of decent weather going into the startup of the season. I'm still hopeful that prior to the this opening day, that we get a chance to go in there and clean them up. But
Well, it is New England, and the weather doesn't always agree.
and it's not, Tom, it's exactly right. It's a hard
I
time.
noticed that this morning.
That's fine.
Excellent.
I just got one last thing. Tom, you brought back those documents from our good friends in Wilbraham regarding the
Oh, yeah.
the right to enter, to clean culverts
Right,
and
entry and-
waterways and
yep.
stuff like that. But within the next couple of months, Sean will be working on our own documents so we can get them presented to the Conservation Commission, so we can get that most valuable project
Yeah.
taken care
Long
of.
We can keep moving
Excellent.
forward on that.
Yeah,
Good.
So we have a generic letter of intent
yeah.
to keep these waterways open. That'd be good.
That'd be awesome. I just want to make a comment, because I think I made a comment a few snowstorms ago. I have been monitoring as I'm doing my plowing, and I'm very, very impressed. I don't know if you've been listening but I'm very, very impressed with calling in the two streets, Mark's attention to detail, the guys, you know, responding on the radios, and, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of things that may not be going 100%, but I was listening in, very, very impressed with streets getting called in, Mark knowing what's going on, and
Thank you very
the
much.
timeliness of what the guys did. I mean, even today was awesome, so.
They did, we had a meeting, after our meeting, and everybody got on the same page, top to bottom, and the last two sorts, especially the one prior to this one, where we were gonna get 2 to 4, and we ended up with 10 or 11 inches.
Yep.
School opened that day, most of it fell in the middle of the night, and the guys did, they all called their streets in, as scheduled,
And I did hear a couple times this morning where Mark, his pen must have been moving really, really quick, so I do understand that if they're all calling it in, he can be,
but the system worked well,
it
you're
did,
absolutely right.
really did. So, nice work. With that, motion? Oh, set the next meeting?
Next meeting,
Next meeting.
April 2nd, 5 o'clock at the
5
service
o'clock.
building.
Need a motion?
Second,
Motion to adjourn?
To adjourn, yeah.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.